Hey everybody, this is Dan. I am going to show you how I make my world famous Cajun beans. Normally they would be red beans and rice. I don't have red beans right now, so I'm going to go with a southwestern variety of a pinto bean, which can be seen right here. This is our pinto beans, and we're going to cook that in our bacon and some spices here, and we'll have that with some potato and some rice later on. And then we've got our Far West brand of sausage here that we're going to actually cook. As soon as the beans crack and start to turn brown, I'll add these and turn the heat on low, and it makes these sausages really tender. I'm going to go over the spices real quick. We're going to have a little bit of onion powder, some oregano, some Creole seasoning, name brand of, I'm not even going to try it. We'll call it Z Creole. Looks good to me. And then we're going to go with some Grizzly Joe's, which is a local vendor here in San Diego. Makes a pretty good product. Kind of a chipotle, kind of a little spicy brand. So this is you can get this guy online. He'll ship to you. This product's pretty decent. It's a really good product, pretty decent price. And then some cumin, and then pepper. This Grizzly Joe's is a blend of different spices, so you're already going to have some salt in there. And then you're going to get some salt from your bacon also. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this together. I'm going to add my 2 cups of beans here. And then we're going to go with the remaining amount of beans here, which should be about 2 cups. Maybe a little bit less. Okay, so that's our remaining beans. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to top this off about probably about 3/5 of water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break down this bacon a little bit more, and we're going to add this bacon. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to pick it up from there. Okay, so I went through and cycled the bacon, broke it down a little bit. You don't want to have whole length pieces in here. What you want to do is you want to go through this. This is ends and bits, by the way, which you can get. That was a 1.5 pound package of ends and bits for about, I think it was $3.10. So we've got our beans and water going here, and we've got it on high. We want to bring this to a boil. What we do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our bacon. And like I said, this is ends and bits, so it's going to break down on its own anyway, but we don't want to have whole length pieces here. We want to have ends and bits. If nothing else, just take your bacon parts, which are very thickly cut here in fairly lean group, and we want to break that down to at least half. And for you people who are not doing meat, you're thinking right now, this is the nastiest thing you've ever seen. You'd be surprised how popular bacon is getting nowadays. It's got a really good marketing campaign all by itself. Who doesn't like the smell of bacon? If you don't like the smell of bacon, I don't know, I can't help you. There's just nothing else like it in the world. This is a family show, so I can't talk about anything else that even compares. Having said that, this is what makes our beans really good. And you could put bacon just in about anything and cook it. That is going to be a stew or a sauce or a soup, and you can't go wrong there. Okay, and we get our last little bits here. And what we're going to do at this point is, all that's really left to do is just add some spices, and then we're going to boil this to break down our beans, get them to crack, get that nice brown thing going on, and then we're just going to stir everything periodically while we're going. So I'm going to talk to you about the sausage real quick. This Far West here is a local brand that's local to San Diego, and There's hot and there's mild. They have a chicken also, and there's some hot links that I get, and I'll bounce back and forth between several different brands. And this company is farwestmeats.com. You can look them up, get the 911 on them. And if I remember correctly, they are in family-owned, made in the USA since 1922. They used to. Okay, so we went ahead and put all of our spices in, and we've got that on high there. I went ahead and mixed everything up generously. Basically, all we're going to do for about the next hour, hour and a half is come and check on this periodically. The quickest way to get a good boil on this is to keep the lid on. Only take the lid off to stir. Once the water gets hot, it starts breaking down the chemicals of the beans and breaking down the chemicals of the spices we added. You'll get a scent for what that's going to smell like, and that's how you can kind of judge. If that's the flavor you smell, that's where you're at, that's what you want. Pull back or add to based on taste. It's not going to change. Once you've added everything, it gets warm. It's not really going to change very much. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid back up on that. I'm not going to add the meat for a couple of hours, and then once it comes feeding time, I'm going to break those potatoes down, and we're going to fry those up, and then I'm going to get some rice, so we're going to put it in a steamer. So we'll have beans, rice, potatoes, sausage, and then as we get to that point, I will show you how we do all that. So basically, once we're about an hour and a half into this thing, 2 hours into this thing, basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the sausage out, open up the package, I'm going to dump the sausage in there. They're going to go ahead and continue to cook with the beans. And then time now is 7:35 p.m. They'll be done cooking probably about midnight, 1 a.m. And then I'll just turn that fire off, and I'll come up and stir them a couple more times during the evening. And then for breakfast, this thing will be ready to go, and tomorrow evening it'll be prime. If you're going to use this for a staple and you're entertaining or going to have people over, you generally want to cook this stuff about a day ahead of time. And then, like I said, do your beans and rice at serving time about an hour, hour and a half before. But that sausage will sit there and it'll marinate and it'll soak up those juices from the beans. So I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoy the recipe, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and add your likes and comments to the YouTube channel. And here we are on about a week away or so from Christmas, so I hope you have a Merry Christmas if you don't have any more videos from me by then. And please be safe, and feel free to leave comments and ask questions as you like. Bye-bye. Okay, our beans have come to a boil, and that's the action you're looking for right there. You want to see that good turnover, that good water movement. And then as I see the thing starting to settle on top, I want to go ahead and just give it a good stir. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you keep adding water to this, because as you're boiling water, you're creating a pretty significant rate of evaporation. You don't want this to get dry. You want this to stay at that level right there. And then as they get done, then you can go ahead and let the evaporation continue to the desired thickness of the bean soup that you want. I generally keep mine about there because there's such a high fat content here that this fluid's going to thicken and gel anyway. And then we're going to use this half of onion toward the later half of cooking, and the beans here. And our potatoes that I just chopped up are going to soak overnight. Alrighty, we've got a good boil going on. We've had our beans going on for a couple hours now. Our sausages broke out. We're going to go ahead and add our sausage to the mix here. Then we're going to turn our heat down to about medium. We're going to go with a medium heat for about another 2 or 3 hours. Monitoring every 30 minutes for continuous stirring, and make sure that our water level is correct. We don't want our stuff to dry out here. So we got everything in. Going to give everything a good stir. And this is going to go ahead and come to a boil again, probably in about 15-20 minutes. And then once it does that, we want to turn our temp down to about probably 5 or 6 for an hour. We want to check it every 15-20 minutes. And then where the water level is at right now is where we want to pretty much keep it for the duration until serving. We should get a good deep dark brown. Okay, I just wanted to give you an update on where our sausage is at, and I wanted to give you a kind of a lessons learned on my part. And this is something I know. Ideally, when you're cooking your sausage, all you want to do is, these sausages are already. Okay, so it's the morning after. Our beans have been sitting all night. Everything's got good color. And we got some pretty good consistency. All you want to do is just warm these back up, keep them warm, warm them up at about 8, and then drop it down to like 2 or 3 or even low. Keep the lid on and just pull from it throughout the day. And got some good looking stuff going on here. See if I can give you some, get out the light. There we go. And then here on the other side, I just put my potatoes in the iron. They've been soaking all night. So they're going to have some really good flavor. As soon as I put them in the pan, they start going off. So this is all going to be good. This is making about 4 servings right here of potatoes. That right there, judge for yourself. Quite a bit of serving there. So what you want to do is you want to kind of keep those moving. And to help them steam, I got this lid that goes on this roaster here. And then what I'll do is I'll take and crack that about every 5 minutes or so, give everything a good flip. And then I just want to continue to keep this moving while it warms back up. So that's the consistency we're looking for right there. There's our sausage. And then over here, made the rice last night. We got our rice going on. Put a bit of rice down. 3 beans and sausage right on top of that. Put your potatoes next to it. Hear that? Yeah. Put the potatoes next to it and we're good to go. So we'll make a presentation shortly. Okay, so here's our final presentation. We got beans and rice, sausage and potatoes, and just basically put a bit of rice down, and then throw a sausage on the side there. Got your potatoes going on. Oh my god, that's great. So there it is. There's your Southwestern budget poor boys big meal for 8-12 people. Cost of this is probably about bag of potatoes, 10 pound, $3.99. Sausage was $6.99. Rice, pennies on the pound. Beans, about pennies on the pound. So you saw what was involved in it. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a message. I'm going to eat breakfast.